After becoming so infuriated that China joined the attack, MacArthur demanded that Truman should bomb the Chinese part of the Yalu River and also bomb the military factories in that area. Truman did not favor this at all because he did not want to get the USSR involved and turn this Korean conflict into the next World War III. One historian said this about the subject. Harry S. Truman and Dean Acheson, the Secretary of State, told MacArthur to limit the war to Korea. MacArthur disagreed, favoring an attack on Chinese forces. Unwilling to accept the views of Truman and Acheson, MacArthur began to make inflammatory statements indicating his disagreements with the United States government. As it turned out, MacArthur's disagreement with the government was a pastime of his. Evidence arose that MacArthur also disagreed with the U.S. policy over the Philippines during World War I. He did everything he could do to thwart Washington's strategies dealing with the Japanese, just like in Korea. As MacArthur continued to publicly criticize Truman and his administration, Truman became very irritated at his remarks. John Hightower, a reporter for the Associated Press, had this to say. The dispute that rages between General Douglas MacArthur and President Truman over how to win the Korean War has reached fever heat again. The administration may shortly ask the general to clear broad foreign policy issues. The heated discussion on what to do about the Chinese attack raged for about a month until the president, also the commander-in-chief of the military, became fed up with MacArthur and relieved him of his duties as the United Nations Supreme Commander on April 11, 1951. This decision of the president shocked the American people, for many of them saw MacArthur as a hero. After they learned that the Secretary of Defense and the Joint Chiefs of Staff both backed the president's decision, they changed their minds about MacArthur and began to think of him as a corrupt individual. Nearly a decade later, MacArthur died on April 5, 1964, at the age of 84. Many Americans do not know whether to applaud or weep when they talk about the death of MacArthur. Inarguably, Douglas MacArthur led such a complicated life that no one could ever lead a life such similar as his. One might think of Douglas MacArthur as a valiant man for leading U.S. troops in many victorious battles. Nonetheless, he never won the battle between himself and his own government. One might not know whether MacArthur thought his actions during his lifetime replicate those of a high-quality person, but it is undeniable that he spent his life trying to accomplish his own ends. Countless historians still have the impression that MacArthur proved himself in battle and making himself a celebrity and proving to be a remarkable general. However, having a title as a notable war hero does not justify the acts of corruption he committed during his lifetime, especially against his fellow Americans. This is a picture of General Douglas MacArthur, and he was famous for his corncob pipe.